Hey guys, Peppermint here, and welcome back to my channel. We're playing some more Royal Alchemist, and I'm really excited to play more of this game. It was pretty good last time, but we didn't even get to meet any of the characters yet, so I hope we get to meet our princes this episode and see what they're all about. The proud high walls of Fostrax thrust into the azure sky, its battlements blinding white in the splendor of the meridian sun. I'm hurt, hungry, and tired to the bone, yet I cannot help but feel a stir of pride as I take in the breathtaking sight. I nudge my palfrey onto the main thoroughfare, squeezing through the throng of townsfolk, peasants, and livestock. At this moment, I'm supposed to be in the castle, soon to be confirmed by the regent as tutor to the princes before the estates of the realm. Instead, I look at my tattered, singed clothes and the ragged palfrey I had bought for an exorbitant price at an outlying farmstead this morning. What's a palfrey? I need to Google this, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what a palfrey is. Oh, okay. A palfrey is a horse. Apparently. I feel I feel like that's like I've literally never heard of that, but okay, a palfrey is a horse. I have a horse. At least I've nearly reached the palace now. I wonder if my horse has a name. Soon I shall have a warm bath to wash myself, hot food to eat, and a soft bed to sleep in. A thrill of delight shivers through me. Soon. You there, stop. A fat and officious-looking palace guard in ridiculously ornate armor is blocking the road. He glares at me and shakes his spear in front of my nose. What are you doing, vagrant? I'm on my way to the palace. She's on her way to the palace. His piggy eyes squint as he shrieks with laughter. The two other palace guards behind him titter, and one of them makes a rude gesture at me with his hand. Why? What did I do? The palace, street rat, only admits persons of quality. Be so good as to scamper back into the sewer before I skewer you. Also, I just want to say my cats are playing in the background, so I apologize in advance if there are weird noises, but there's no stopping them, so I'll just try to ignore it. Excuse me, you're making a mistake. I'm here to serve as a tutor to the princes by instruction of His Excellency the Regent. Yeah, and I'm the High Queen of Carcosa, here to join the late king's harem. This witticism provoked another shrill outburst of merriment. I can feel my patience rapidly wearing thin, my lips pursed on instinct. Despite trying to be civil, I can't help but glare at the guard. After all, while my family doesn't stand under a monarch's protection, we are still recognized nobility. I do not have to stand here and bear this idiocy. I have been ambushed by assassins, and my carriage was destroyed and my escort killed. I myself barely escaped the slaughter. So it's not the sewers you came from, but the asylum. I am neither insane nor lying. No? No? Then I suppose I'd better let you pass, hadn't I? He makes as if to step aside, but stops mid-motion as if remembering something. Oh, you said you're going to be the prince's tutor, as I recall. You recall correctly. Then you will no doubt have the regent's letter of appointment secreted somewhere about the rags you're wearing. The letter of appointment? Of course, I totally forgot about that. I'm afraid I've lost it. Oh, oh, what an awful and utterly unexpected surprise. Oh my God, this guy is such a jerk. Why is it necessary to be such an asshole? The letter was in the carriage, but get out of my sight before I gut you like a hog, imbecile. Oh my God, can we like blow him up? How dare you? I warn you not to take liberties. You warn me. You warn me. Do you know who I am, maggot? Do you know who my father is? I can whip you like a cur in the street. I can make you lick dirt from my boots. I can cut you to pieces and feed you to my hounds, and no one will so much as blink. So don't you dare warn me. Okay, apparently we hit a button there. You unspeakable lowlife. A piggy pink tongue with piggy pink lips. The tip of his spear wavers, glints. Suddenly the palace guard stands shock still, the voluminous folds of fat on his body quivering like jelly. Dat fat shaming, though. Is something the matter, Hagen? It's a boy! A slender young man makes his way up beside me, a small smile playing about his lips. The first thing that strikes me about him are his eyes, beautiful and almond-shaped. They peer out into the world from under carefully hooded lids, at once keen and inscrutable, taking in everything and giving nothing out in return. His dark cape rustles with every elegant move, and the sound of something small and sonorous follows him. Eventually I noticed it coming from his golden earrings. Let's get that full CG. I'm sure it's going to be colored in the full version of the game, but honestly, it looks really nice like this. I like the sepia tones. A suspicious character is malingering about the palace, and I was trying to chase her away. A suspicious character? Surely there must have been a misunderstanding. Pardon me, I don't believe I have the honor. I am Peppermint of House Rosencreuz, come to receive my appointment as royal tutor from His Excellency, the Regent of Eskia. I wonder how much she had to practice to say that without, like, stuttering. Even as I say this, I feel my heart sinking. The young nobleman seems both friendly and influential, but there is no reason why he would be any more likely to believe those words from a haggard, disreputable-looking stranger like me than the palace guard. But the youth merely inclines his head slightly. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Please, allow me to introduce my brothers. He half turns and makes a graceful motion with his hand, and for the first time I notice the two youths standing behind him. This is Nazir. One of them looks up and meets my eyes with a playful wink, his braid sliding over his cape ever so slightly. How do you do? And this is Aurelius. Okay, so random thought here. If these guys are all brothers, and our guard earlier was like, there's no way Aurelius will take the throne or whatever, the fact that he looks nothing like them, I wonder if he's like a bastard child. Not to be like horribly mean or anything, but that's like the first thing that I thought just then. I take a glance at the nobleman's other companion. Beautiful dark hair gracefully falls to his hips, highlighting the fairest complexion I've ever laid eyes upon. Or he's the vampire, that could also be possible. In short, he is striking, but in the most ethereal, haunting sense. I want to see their outfit. Okay, I'm happy now. Aurelius holds my gaze for half a second and glances away, the impenetrable expression on his face unchanged. I am Saren, a prince of the blood like my brothers here, and very much at your service. He lowers his head in a courtly bow, not entirely devoid of irony, as realization finally dawns on me. They're the princes. Wait, she didn't know that yet. Okay, I'm a little slow. Well, I mean, the guards aren't even an issue right now, so let's dismount our horse. In a flash, I slip off the palfrey, dropping on one knee before the prince. Your Highness! Long, delicate fingers touch my shoulders, lifting me to my feet. They are gone long before I can even mind to remember their touch. Please, let us not stand on ceremony. You are to be our tutor, after all. It is we who ought to be showing you respect. Your Highness, you don't seriously believe the ramblings of this character. But I do. Can you not see these, Hagen? Prince Sirin inclines his head ever so slightly in the direction of my neck. Understanding his intentions, I loosen my collar a bit, revealing my markings. The piggy little eyes of the palace guard are squinting again, and the piggy pink lips working silently. That sentence sounded weird. These petal birthmarks are the birthright of every Rosencruz, and a symbol of their unique gift. This gentlewoman is indeed the royal tutor, and our uncle the regent desires most anxiously to meet her. But, your highness, she hasn't got the letter of... I vouch for her. There is the barest hint of steel within the silk smooth voice of Prince Saren. The palace guard blanches, even though Prince Saren's external demeanor does not alter. Lowering his head, he stands obediently aside. Saren turns to me with a gentle smile. This way, my lady, if you will allow me. Falling into step alongside the prince, my feet carry me under the towering arched gates and into the great sprawling palace of Fostrax. Alright, so those are our princes. Handsome boys. They're all very one's like the charming prince, one's the aloof, standoffish guy, and one's the flirty guy. So hopefully they're not super stereotypical and there's a little bit more to them, but I'm probably judging too soon. So Prince Saren takes me past the garden forecourt into a sumptuously appointed antechamber within one of the palace's wings. I'm afraid I must now take my leave. There are preparations I have to make for the state dinner, and the palace staff here will attend to all your needs. Thank you so much for helping me. It was my pleasure. He nods politely and leaves the antechamber. The moment he steps outside, a dozen maidservants and butlers stream into the room as if summoned out of thin air. Thanks, Saren. I aim the thought of gratitude after the good prince, as a pretty maid in a frilly dress leads me gently by my arm to what she assures me will be the fanciest bath I have ever seen in my life. The remainder of the afternoon passes in an indistinct blur. I am conducted into a luxurious bath of scented soap and multicolored bubbles, where I at last wash off the dust and ashes and blood in steaming hot water. When I step out of the bath, my clothes are neatly laid out on a bed, crisp and clean, next to a large white towel, still warm with the sun. Then a maidservant enters the chamber the moment I finish dressing, carrying a tray laden with pastries, fruits, and piping hot tea. Oh my god, it's like 3 p.m. and I haven't eaten yet, and that sounds so good. As I sit on a fur-lined couch, nibbling a buttery scone and savoring the rich herbal aroma left by the scalding tea, the nightmare events of the previous night seems infinitely removed. But the respite does not last long. A somber butler in an immaculate black suit soon glides into the room and announces in a funereal tone that the evening state dinner in honor of the High Council is about to begin. These sentences are really long. That is one complaint I have so far. Like reading them, I feel like I need to pause in between the sentences just to catch my breath because they're very long and they have very long words. Friends, countrymen, and honored guests, before we begin tonight's state dinner, there is an announcement I wish to make on behalf of the Regency Council. The regent, the late king's younger brother, is a subdued-looking gentleman with graying hair and a tired voice. He speaks standing next to the empty throne, and his voice is barely audible over the chattering crowd of notables milling about the throne room. After much deliberation, the Regency Council has decided upon a candidate to be the realm's royal tutor. At these words, the chatter picks up in volume. I see glances dart my way, not all of them friendly. She is the scion of the ancient and noble house of Rosencruz, an accomplished practitioner in the art of magic, and a foremost member in the High Council's most worthy order of obscure nobodies, useless upstart potion makers. Leave magic to the mages, Alchemist. Why is everyone so mean to me? What did I do? A storm of laughter and catcalls burst from the nobles. My jaws clench and I dig my nails into the palms of my hands. They dare. Order, order. Thankfully, the disruption does not last long. The catcalls are barely taken up by anyone apart from the nobles. Representatives from Eskia's circle of mages, who should have the most cause to feel snubbed on behalf of their colleagues in the High Council by my appointment, even look at me sympathetically. I urge the worthy peers in this house to conduct themselves with a dignity befitting their high station. Sorry, guys, I have the hiccups right now. As I was saying, we in the Regency Council have determined. Oh, thank God. I don't have to read all of that. While the regent drones on, I start to survey the room, trying to puzzle out the lay of the political landscape. The nobility presents an almost uniformly hostile bloc. High up the balustrade, the high nobles look down on me, cold and implacable. They do not shout or jeer. They do not need to. Below them, their vassals and appendages, the minor barons and counts, are all too eager to bark at the master's bidding. The mages are divided. Half of them regard me with undisguised disapproval as an interloper encroaching on their traditional area of prerogative, which in fairness I suppose I am. The rest observe me with detached curiosity, as though I were a new and potentially interesting specimen of mouse about to be experimented on. The few alchemists in the hall, from whom I expected expressions of support, offer none. Hemmed in between the nobles and the mages, they make a self-effacing group, trying not to be noticed. A few of them smile at me, but more out of pity than encouragement. Being young and high-spirited, the princes should be governed by a temperate and moderating influence, the more in the instruction of an art as subtle and perilous as that of magic. The princes, I wonder how they're doing. Trying to keep myself from yawning, I cast about the room for the three young men I met earlier today. Prince Saren is standing ramrod straight, immediately to the right of the throne, hands clasped behind his back, his face a mask of dutiful attention. Next to him, Prince Nazir slouches against a pillar. He catches my eyes and offers a lazy wink. I find myself smiling in acknowledgement in reply. The idea to survey the room must have occurred to Prince Aurelius as well. He's scanning the great hall from one end to another, brows creased in a slight frown. Our gazes meet. He stares keenly at my face for a moment before his eyes flicker away, quite impersonally, to the person next to me. You will love me, Aurelius. Let us, therefore, wish the new royal tutor every success in guiding their highnesses, the princes, on the paths of wisdom and virtue. May they flourish under her guidance. It sounds like the regent's address is winding down at last. To Peppermint of Rosencreutz, our tutor to the princes. For a second, absolute silence reigns. I feel my cheeks flush. A ringing noise fills my ears. Then, "Hear, hear!" Prince Nazir shouts cheerfully as he claps, which echoes through the cavernous room. Prince Saren joins him in the briefest instant later, adding his applause to his brother's. Then Prince Aurelius is clapping too, and soon so is everyone in the throne room, with every display of enthusiasm. Nobody wishes to be seen holding back, or worse, cheering, when their future sovereign, whoever he may be among the three, is applauding. My lords and ladies, I formally declare the state dinner for this evening open. I am almost sure I hear a sigh of relief from the regent as he steps down from the dais. At the far end of the throne room, trains of servants bring out silver platters piled high with steaming delicacies. With great alacrity, the assembly of notables breaks into little groups, making their way to the buffet. I pause, wondering whom I should speak to over dinner. Is it going to make me choose? Of course. The regent is an option. Oh my god, can I seduce the father? I mean, I don't want to, but if that is an option, that would actually be hilarious. I mean, clearly I'm gonna go with Aurelius because he's the dark and mysterious type. Siren is nice as well, and Nazir. I mean, they're all good options, but you gotta go for the dark brooding type. I think most girls would agree. So let's go with Prince Aurelius. A cup of wine in my hand, I comb through the ballroom in search of Prince Aurelius. However, he's nowhere to be found. None of the guests I ask knows where he is. None of them sounds terribly interested either. Eventually, behind a small table tucked into the farthest corner of the throne room, there he is. Prince Aurelius is sitting a bit farther away from the table. He leans forwards at an angle that lets him rest his elbows on his thighs and staring at the glass of wine in his hand. I move to stand behind the chair opposite him. Is this spot taken? His eyelashes flutter as he glances at me just for a second and then quickly looks away. I don't see anyone else. It isn't the most welcoming invitation I've ever received, but I take it anyway. As I sit down, the scent of western flowers envelops me. It isn't strong, but mixed with the red wine in his hand, it complements his appearance so well, I suddenly recall some member of the council referring to him as an exotic beauty. You're not at the ball? Evidently. Why not? He obviously isn't the type of person that likes stupid questions, Peppermint. Why aren't you? It's a rhetorical question. The prince's inscrutable gaze falls upon me, not seeking an answer, but not giving one in return either. Curiosity rises within me as I set my cup of wine aside, a gesture Prince Aurelius mimics. Something the late guard captain told me nudged in my mind. He had said there was no love lost between the nobles between the nobles and the youngest prince. Fine, I'll take a guess. You don't like the noblemen here a lot, do you? I suppose I like them about as much as they like me, which is to say not at all. I applaud your perspicacy. Perspicacy. Perspicacity. I'm not even gonna try that word. I'm sorry. Why is that? Why, I wonder. His tone could not have his tone could not have conveyed none of your business better if it was written in black ink on his face. Fine, I can take a hint. I was starting to have my doubts. Well, he hates me. I stand up feeling affronted. My curiosity about the youngest prince does supersede my pride as a Rosencruz. I mean, maybe if you, asked him something interesting instead of, alluding to the fact that everyone hates him, he might be more interested in talking to you, Peppermint. Just a thought. If you would rather not put up with my company, you could have said so at the beginning, I say, stretching my hand to take my wine glass. At the same time, Prince Aurelius reaches out for the same glass. Just as I realize that, by my mistake, I was reaching for the wrong glass, our hands touch. I feel him tense, jerk away. The abrupt movement of Prince Aurelius's hand knocks the glass cup from the table. It falls and shatters, spraying wine all over the floor. Dear God, this is embarrassing. And not only the floor. I stare in dismay at the dark droplets staining the front of my shirt. What happened, Your Highness? Oh dear, oh dear. Two servants materialize out of thin air, towels and mops in hand. One of them turns to me, bowing. Don't worry, my lady, we'll soon take care of it. How about I just die? That would be better. Thank you. How about you apologize, Peppermint? Oh my god, I have no class. I look up to see Prince Aurelius glaring at me as though it were somehow entirely my fault. It kind of was. I did reach for the wrong glass. Yeah, apologize. I mean, he really didn't do anything wrong. Despite not wanting to back down, it wouldn't do to glare at a prince, no matter how annoyed one may be with him. Instead, I give him my most charming smile of apology. I'm sorry, that was clumsy of me. I kneel down, taking a spare piece of cloth from the nearby chair. What are you doing? Helping the servants. You don't have to. I'm aware of that. He glances at me from the corner of his eyes. His gesture doesn't give away any of his thoughts. It takes me several minutes to help the servants clean up. All the time Prince Aurelius stood by the table, observing me in silence. When we are done at last, he motions the servants away. It's getting late. I'm going back to my room. Good night, Rosencruz. Good night, Your Highness. I receive a curt nod in acknowledgement. Prince Aurelius walks in long, rapid strides into the crowd and is soon lost to my sight. I abscond from the state dinner as soon as it is polite to do so. I haven't had a wink of sleep since the night before last, and the toll is starting to tell on me. By the time I reach my room, my eyes feel incredibly dry from me trying to keep them open. I pry my clothes off and change into a nightgown, finally collapsing onto my bed. Darkness engulfs me. And I'm gonna stop there. So, we did get to meet the guys today. I don't know. I think I'm like most people in that I usually go for the dark, brooding, like mysterious types just because they're always more interesting. And honestly, Prince Aurelius doesn't seem that bad. We were being kind of insufferable. So I'm enjoying this game still. It's really hard to read out loud. The sentences are super long and some of the words, I don't know if I'm just stupid, but I literally have never heard of some of these words. Um, but that's really my only complaint so far. Other than that, I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm eager to continue. So hopefully, there's still a good amount of demo left, and we'll be back with a new episode pretty soon. So please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave a like. And I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great day. And there's a cat because that's my life. There's always a cat. Say bye. Bye.